Bonafide Hustler here, and today I'm going to show you some cool things I found from last weekend going to garage sales, and also a couple things last week that I found at thrift stores. What's going on, guys and gals? Chris the Bonafide Hustler coming to you live from the inside of my garage, and behind here is the shoe wall and everything like that, but the curtain makes it look a whole lot better. But anyways, today in this video, we're going to be looking at what I found last weekend at garage sales and stuff like that, and then I'll show you a couple finds that I found last week at thrift stores, really cool things that you're about to see. So let's dive into the video. Now, there are two bikes that are, one was like an Electra that I found for like 65 bucks or 60 bucks. I think it'll sell for around $2 to $250, something like that. Then we found another bike, which is like a different like cruiser bike, like a Linus, and that one right there was 25. It'll probably sell for around $150. They're too big to bring into the garage to show, but basically there were two bikes that are extremely profitable that we found last weekend at garage sales. But I really want to show you guys the stuff that's in here and those two things that are down there, which you cannot see. All right, so before we get into this stuff, hit the like button and make a comment down below when you see something that you really like. And of course, I do these hauls because you're gonna see this on an upcoming, garage sale video and stuff like that. But a lot of times these hauls help me price the items when I bring them to eBay or Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or something like that. I look at the comments down below, and you guys help me out a lot. So I'll try to give you guys as accurate as I can of what I think I'll be making on these items. Hopefully, guys, when you're out there, doing the same thing that I'm doing, that you remember some things from this video and it makes you some money. All right, no real particular order. This was part of just like a deal of some sort. I think I paid $3 or $4 for all this stuff. This was a Sherwin-Williams trucker hat. This is my booth, probably sell for 10 bucks. We have a New Era vintage, or it's called a vintage New Era, or New Era, but this is a vintage pro model. This is a Pittsburgh Pirates pillbox hat. Very flaky, really nice hat. I kind of wish it wasn't flaky, but it is. It was found at a garage sale, like in a bin. So this was, basically almost nothing. And it does have a crack right here in the bill. It's probably 20 bucks in my booth. If it was in mint condition, it would probably be, 40 plus all day on eBay. But 20 bucks in my booth, something like that. For someone that's like a diehard Pittsburgh fan, maybe just pretty cool to put maybe some bubble wrap in here and put it on a shelf, for example. At a garage sale, one of the first garage sales in the morning, popped on these. I believe I paid either $3 or $5 for these. I'm not 100% sure. These are actually vintage Vans, believe it or not. So when you look inside the tongue of these, there's no like plastic thing that shows the size or the US women's, US men's size. None of that is in this shoe. And instead, there's an actual code on the inside of the canvas. And so that's basically, one of the indicators that this is a vintage pair of Vans. These will probably resell somewhere between 60 and 100 bucks. These are Disney Mickey Vans, really cool. And check this out. So this is a collab like way back in the day. And instead of having the Vans logo on the back, they have the Mickey logo, right? Maybe you guys can see it. There you go. All right, so really cool. Had to pick them up. Theme Vans do bring pretty incredible resale, especially if you find, let's say, Iron Maiden Vans, Nintendo Vans, things like that. Even some of the Beatles ones. A lot of the rock band ones do really well. Grateful Dead. Yeah, but theme Vans are really good. They're kind of like my go-to thing. And if it's not themed, I would go to checkers next as being something worth incredible money. Usually checkered Vans, low cut, typically slip-on, will do very well on eBay. So keep your eyes open for stuff like that. While we're on the subject of Vans, this was found last week at thrift stores. I paid, I think, $12.99 for these. And these are also themed Vans, Disney themed Vans, just like the other ones, except this has to do with villains. So we got some villains in here, which looks like to be from maybe Snow White, 101 Dalmatians, things like that. But these are just villains that are on these Vans right here. Pretty cool, very good condition. I suspect they haven't been worn, but I'm not going to put that on there as brand new or new without tags because they have a little bit of wear, but not much. Inside they look perfect. So this is probably around 60 to 85 bucks right here. At garage sales, I paid $1 for this. When you're looking around at Xbox 360 games, while majority of them are pretty much not worth that much, if you have an Xbox 360 and you want to play it, okay, that's cool. It's a great way to get some good games. But I always look for this game right here because this one you can pair up with the Les Paul controller or even the other one, the Explorer controller, and you can get mad money on Amazon FBA when you pair the two together. So I always am on the hunt for this game, and I'll pay up to maybe $4 or $5 for this thing, pawn shop or wherever I go, because it makes a difference. You know, when you can sell the guitar alone for around somewhere between 50 and 60, but then all of a sudden you pair it with a game and this thing becomes like worth 80, 100, sometimes 120. In fact, as of the time that this video is filmed, I think it's up to around like 115 or something like that for the Les Paul guitar plus the Guitar Hero 3 game in good condition. This one has no scratches, has everything in it. As long as you send it in with a guitar that's in pretty good condition, typically the ones that have no scratches and no stickers on them, they'll come with a strap, they come with a battery door, you can break them in half and everything like that. That's probably a $115 sale right there with this game attached to it. When I send it into Amazon, I break the guitar apart, I put this, you know, with it, and then I use this, which is basically like saran wrap, and that's how I send it in, right? Of course with other items, but you don't have to do very much to get that money. At the same garage sale I got those Vans. This was like $2, maybe $3. I'm not 100% sure. This will sell in my booth for around 20 plus. It's a little skippy, not a jar, but a tin. Very nice. You know, people use these things for banks, to put treats in, things like, it's just neat. It's a neat decoration, so not something you see every day. And I definitely had to pop on it because I have a vintage booth and this is perfect for it. Okay, so I found it at the thrift store last week. Same day I found the Villains Vans, same place I found the Villains Edition Vans, the Disney ones. I decided to get on this. I'm not really big on clothing. You guys know that. I don't like to dabble in clothing too much because it's an easy way, at least in my eyes, to just spin wheels, right? You're making a lot of effort for what I believe to be not really worth my time, right? And so I do dabble into clothing that's higher priced, outerwear, or something that's very unique. I consider this pretty unique. So this is a Tesla quarter zip pullover, pretty nice. And as you know, Tesla's almost like iPhones. Like, people go bonkers over these things. They put deposits down for things. They wait in lines for these things. They pre-order these things. I mean, there's a really big following for Tesla, electric cars. And so here's a size large, quarter zip, acrylic / cotton pullover type thing, right? And it's in very good condition. If you were to find like the jackets that are Tesla, for example, those things sell on eBay for like over $100 like all day. So this, I believe, could sell somewhere between 60 and about 80, and I believe this was $6 at a thrift store. It was not very expensive, and it's in perfect condition. It even has Tesla on the zipper. I mean, so I'm looking at things like this. I get into clothing, but it's not what most people would think getting into clothing would look like. So I get into select clothing. I really think that's the way to do it because you make the most versus the time that you put in. I mean, it's more unique goods, and yeah, people really, really want those things. So anyways, something to look out for, Tesla branded things. The same garage sale I found the Mickey Vans, found this. This was like $1. Oilers, which is a Houston team that's non-existent anymore. But anyways, it's a Team NFL Oilers fanny pack, pretty nice. In the booth, this will probably fetch 20 to 40 bucks. A little discoloration to it, probably just has to be washed. Pretty neat, had to pop on that, non-existent team anymore. I think Warren Moon used to play on this, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Houston team. For those that live in Texas, you remember this team from when you grew up, basically, like this was the team to follow, besides the Cowboys. And I'm not a big sports guy, so like, I really don't side with like big teams or anything like that. I just watch certain teams throughout the season, but I don't like support anything. I don't have gear for anything. But I do like watching certain football teams advance all the way through, At a garage sale, I paid either 10 or 15 bucks for these. I'm not 100% sure. I think it was 10. These are Red Wings right here. These are logger boots. Very desirable boots to be selling on eBay. In mint condition, you can sell a pair for around 150 to about 180. In tarnished condition, which is this pretty much tarnished, this is weathered, distressed, really good keyword you can use on eBay. This is model 4420, steel toe logger boots right there, very nice. And the logger boots tend to have this like little cut right here on the heel. Extremely, extremely tough. I mean, this is just the toughest of the toughest boot out there. Very heavy, not lightweight. But yeah, you can work in this stuff. You can do lumberjack things in this stuff. It's not going to separate, it's not going to delaminate. It's 100% leather, and then rubber on the bottom right here. Vibram rubber on the bottom. Really nice find. I love finding this stuff distressed. People are like, oh, you sell stuff in that condition? Absolutely. If you take measures to really clean something all the way through, I believe you really take away about 50% of the buyer base at that point. So, you know, I keep it like this. I did go over it a little bit with some car leather conditioner. So it was actually a much lighter shade of brown before I attacked it for about 3 minutes, and that's what it looks like. And that's the condition I am putting it on eBay as. So I'll be asking about 100, something like that for these. It's extremely heavy, Singer sewing machine. This was found at a garage sale, $15. You can check online for the model numbers, and you might have a really valuable one slash, you know, 90% are not gonna be as valuable as you think. But still, people like these as decorations, and people like them for parts to use on other ones. This will probably sell in my booth between $50 and $100 right here. And I paid $15 for it. Okay, so I think the best finds from the weekend truly were these two things. So the very first thing that we have, I paid $10 for it, and it says $20, it works, right? Well, just because someone says that it works doesn't mean that it works. So this thing right here is a Bang & Olufsen record player. It's called a Beogram Tex is what it says. Beogram TX. It's a very hard thing to say. Like anyway, so it's a Beogram Tex, whatever. Record player that appears like it works, but I don't know. I haven't plugged it up or anything like that. Interesting thing about this record player is it has, you know, the sound output left and right coming out right here, but it's hardwired into the unit. It's not just like a red and white. It's actually a black and white, and it's hardwired in, something I haven't seen in vintage electronics in a very, very long time. So anyways, really nice. You know, Bang & Olufsen is a brand, is still a brand, and they make very futuristic and aesthetically pleasing audiophile things. Equipment speakers, you know, integrated CD player speakers, receiver speakers, standalone, you know, things like that. And here we have something that's probably from maybe the 80s or early 90s. And yeah, not, you know, in perfect working condition, these Beogram TXs seem to go for like north of around $450 or so. But this one, I don't know yet. I'm gonna try to, you know, hook it up and get it to play. It has some Tchaikovsky in there, and we'll see what that brings. I mean, I think if it works and I can hear it, then I'm looking at maybe around 200 plus, but either way, I got into that. Now, below this, underneath the record player, we have a Sony VHS Beta, or a beta player. It's a hi-fi beta player, which is cool, which is actually, you know, anytime you see tape-related things and it says hi-fi, it stands for high fidelity, better sound, basically. So, I don't know if this thing works. I'll plug it in. I hope a tape comes out of it when I press eject, because I don't have a beta tape to, you know, test this thing out with. It's also in my best interest to keep the tape if one pops out of there, but we'll see. I'll probably do some audio testing tonight. Either way, we have a Sony Betamax player right here. I believe I paid $15 for it in broken condition. You know, they can resell for around $80. But in good working condition, without the remote, we're looking at maybe $1 to $150. With a remote, working $200. This one did not have the remote. Decided to get into it because you don't see Betamaxes like ever. So I could probably flip it locally for around 80, maybe 100. We'll see. I'm hoping it does play. And the guy did say that it does play, but you can never take people's word for it at the garage sale, you know. So you have to be careful and take that buy price extremely low to where it mitigates all the risk. But yeah, these are two things you don't see every single day, so I had to pick them up. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this haul. I do these videos to inspire you guys to make money out there. I've been doing this stuff for 16 years. I still love it. It is a lot of fun. You find some really good deals. And at the same time, it's unfair to say this, but I think it's really easy to do. It's a really good way to make extra money. So yeah, watch my channel, make sure you're subscribed, and if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. I'll see you on the next Bonafide Hustler video. Take it easy. Goodbye! Look, even the record player's gonna say it too. Goodbye! Look, he's talking.